Boys and girls, today you're going to compare perimeters of rectangles that have the same area. This is just the opposite of what we did yesterday. Yesterday we had the same perimeter in different areas. Today we're going to have the same area but different perimeters. Please read the story problem.
Marcy is making a rectangle pen to hold her rabbits. The area of the pen should be 16 square meters with side links that are whole numbers. What is the least amount of fencing she needs?
All right. What does the least amount of fencing represent in this problem? She's making a rectangular pen for her rabbits. The area should be 16 square meters. So that means the inside should have 16 square meters inside it. Okay? With side lengths that are whole numbers, what's the least amount of fencing that she needs? So you're like the smallest amount of fencing. How can you make an area of 16 with the smallest amount of fencing? Let's when we do this, when we answer this problem, we're going to go do multiple ways to get an area of 16. Okay? But what does the least amount of fencing represent?
Least amount of fencing the outside of the yard.
Okay, and what is the outside, guys?
6.
No, what do you call it? The outside. When you're talking about outside of something. Yes, you're talking about perimeter. So let's write that down. Yes, you were talking about the outside. The outside is the perimeter.
You forgot about that.
Okay, so we're going to use, it says you're going to use 16 square tiles to make rectangles. And make as many different rectangles as you can with 16 tiles. Record your rectangles on the grid. We're just going to do rectangles on the grid. We're not going to get actual rectangle or square tiles out. Okay? So, we need to make an area of 16. That means there needs to be 16 in the middle. Okay? 16 squares in the middle of a rectangle. So, how can we make something with 16 squares in the middle? 4 down and 4 across, okay? Because 4 times 4 equals 16.
Do we draw it?
Yes, 4 down, 4 across. Is it 4 down and 4 up? 4, the length of 4 is 4 and the width is 4? Okay.
4 down and 4 across.
All right, what's another way to make 16?
2 down and 8 across.
Okay, 2 down and 8 across. Two down and 8 across. Because 2 times 8 is
16.
Okay. Now I know you can do the commutative property, okay? But this would be the same thing anyway, 4 and 4.
Yeah.
Now you could do 8 and 2. 8 down, 2 across, okay? But what's another way with different numbers? Another way with different numbers that can make 16.
16 times 1.
16 times 1. So you can go 1 down and 16 over. went too far. They're kind of small to do, aren't they? You might have to put dots in the middle so you can see that you have 16. Okay? So this is 1, 1, and 16. 1 times 16. Okay, boys and girls. So we made 3 rectangles, right? Is there any more ways other than doing community property? I don't mean doing community property. Is there any other numbers that can make 16 when you multiply? Yes? No. 3 times 6 is what? 18. Not 16. No, 10 times 6 is 60. Not 16.
There's no other way.
There's no other ways. So now, let's fill out this. Let's call this 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the first one, it's a square, but it's a rectangle too, is what? 2, what's the,
4
yes, 4 times 4.
4.
Length times the width.
Teachers, please keep in mind.
Now guys, remember, length times width is area. But now we need to find perimeter. But perimeter is what?
The outside.
The outside, which is, but it's all the sides, not just 2, it's all the sides. So if we were doing the perimeter for number 1, we'd have 4 and 4, which is, but then you would need this side, which would be 4 more, which is
12.
And then 4 more, which would be
16.
Okay, so perimeter for 1 is 16. Okay? Because you're doing all 4 sides. And since this is a square, really, they're all the same. Okay? Now, let's do the area for number 2, for rectangle 2. Okay, area is where you
Multiply the length and width.
Okay, so what's the length for number 2, Tyson? For rectangle number 2, what's the length? The length. Length is how tall you are. 2. What's the width? Already? 8. Okay. So 2 times 8 is 16. Now we need to find perimeter. Okay? Perimeter is where you add up all the sides. So let's add the other 2 sides. Can we do that?
Yeah.
So if this side is 2, then this side has to be
2.
If the bottom is 8, then the top has to be
8.
Okay. Now you add, because this is perimeter. With perimeter adds. 2 plus 8 is what?
10.
2 plus 8 is what?
10.
2 tens is what?
20.
Okay, so the perimeter is 20 meters for number 2. Okay? I hope you are all writing this down.
I am. What do you have going?
Okay, now rectangle number 3. We're doing the area. Area means what? Multiply the
length and the width.
length and the width. What is the length for area number 1 or area number 3? Jacob, what's the length? Yes, the length is 1. Eli, what's the width?
16.
16. 1 times 16 is 16, right?
Yes.
Okay, but now we have to do the perimeter, which means add all the sides. So we need to put a 1 over here for this side and a 16 for the top. Now what's 1 plus 16?
17.
Okay, but that's just these 2. Now I have to do it again. 1 plus 16 again.
17.
2 17s. What's 7 and 7?
14. 24.
34. 34. Okay. So we have found the areas and the perimeters for all of those triangles. To use the least amount of fencing. Fencing means that you're looking at the perimeter because fencing is around. So looking at the perimeters, guys, to use the least amount, Marcy should make a rectangular pin with the lengths of what? First, which perimeter is least?
16.
16.
Which is number 1.
Which is number 1. So she needs the perimeter of, or the length of what?
16.
4. And the width of 4. The length and the width be 4 and 4. Yes. So, blank meters is the least amount of fencing she needs. How many meters does she need?
16.
16.
That's
Okay.
really.
Okay, now you're going to draw 3 rectangles that have an area of 18 square units. So you're basically finding all the ways to make 18 using multiplication. Find the perimeter of each rectangle and shade the rectangle that has the greatest perimeter. We're going to do this together, but not on video because I want to make sure that we have enough time for other stuff. Number 9, Nora says that all of the possible rectangles with the same area, the rectangles with the largest perimeter will have 2 side lengths that are 1 unit. Does this statement make sense? Now, looking back, when we drew all the possible rectangles that had the same area of 18, when it had the greatest perimeter, we said we shaded this one. When it had the greatest perimeter, did it have 2 side lengths of 1? Yes. Then this one, we were looking at least perimeter. Or no, we were looking for greatest, right? No, we were looking for least. But if we were looking for greatest, we would have saw that this one had the greatest one, right? The triangle or rectangle 3 had the greatest perimeter, it had 34. So it also had 2 side lengths of 1. So does her statement make sense, boys and girls?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Doesn't matter. Yes. Okay, now why does it make sense?
Because the bigger the width, the bigger area.
Okay. No, not the bigger the width, the bigger area. You're trying to get bigger perimeter, not bigger area. The area stays the same. Allie?
The bigger the length or the width is, the longer and bigger the perimeter is.
Okay. When one side length is 1 and one side length is a big number, then it will have a big perimeter. Let's write that. Let's say when 2 sides have the length of 1 unit, the other sides will have a big number.
What? I don't have enough room. What?
Okay, so we said yes, because when 2 sides have a side length of 1 unit, the other sides will have a big number for its length. Next page. Ed has 12 tiles. Each tile is 1 square inch. He will arrange them in a rectangle and glue 1-inch stones around the edge. How can Ed arrange this tile so that he uses the least amount of stones? The stones are the perimeter because he's doing them on the outside. So write what you need to find. Okay, if the square tiles are the area, he has 12. So we're trying to find an area of 12. But then we have to find all the perimeters for those areas. So we're going to draw those rectangles on C. Okay, we made our 3 rectangles. Use what you know about perimeter to help you solve the problem. You guys know what shape is supposed to be the shortest.